All right, the controversy is still trailing the statement purportedly issued by former military President General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida asking President Buhari not to seek re-election in 2019.
Now, there's confusion over who really wrote or authorized the letter after different statements of denial and affirmation by Babangida were simultaneously released. Now, spokesman to Babangida, Kazima Febwa, who spoke to us on phone on Sunday, maintained that his boss gave him the go-ahead to write the letter.
I think his spokesman. In the last 14 years, I've never been found wanting of generative statements from my own brain. I have to listen to him. I have to interact with him, and I have to also put down his wishes and thoughts, in written form. What he has said is just to add his own voice to the national narrative, the narrative of restructuring, narrative of devolution of power, narrative of ensuring that we get younger people into politics, the narrative of ensuring that we key into the superhighway of technology-driven leadership. So it's not about the president. You people are narrowing the discussion. A section of the media is narrowing the discussion as if it were to be to the president. No. We're talking to Nigerians. And as a Nigerian who is a stakeholder in the collective patrimony of the country, he has every right to express his views.
All right. Well, meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has ordered Kasima Febwa's arrest for allegedly making false statements, defamation of character, and for an act capable of inciting public disturbance throughout Nigeria. All right, that's the gentleman there. Well, Charles is still very much here with us. Charles Ideho is a journalist and public affairs commentator. Thanks for remaining with us.
Thank you.
To have this particular discussion, which is even more really troubling. Well, it's a season of letters from ex-generals to another ex-general.
To their very own.
Former presidents.
Yes.
To their very own. Former president, all of them.
Yeah. And they've all had their fair share of presiding over the affairs of this nation at the highest level.
Two of them twice.
Have they earned the right to write these letters to the present administration?
Yes, they do. First of all, they are also part of the. They are some of the stakeholders we also have. They are elders. They are patriots, if you want. They are also concerned citizens. I mean, every policy of government will affect everybody, no matter how highly placed. It can affect your business, can affect the fortunes of whatever you are running, can affect even your own home. So whatever they are saying now, they are saying it in response to what we have on ground right now in terms of governance.
No ulterior motives.
They shouldn't, because as Afewa is one, Afewa is a very fine gentleman when it comes to this issue. Very
well-bred journalist.
Very professional. And I mean, I've known him for, no one-on-one, I've known about him for a long time. He's not somebody that can easily be swayed. I mean, to become, how do I say now, become very excited to want to do to do certain things outside his professional training. What the president said, the former military president said, he listed out all that we are facing right here. He listed them out. And he didn't even call, I didn't read anywhere, whether a line or a phrase in his statement where he said the president should not recontest. But he said, rather that, not his words now, we should not show him out, but we should cooperate with him to serve out his remaining part of his tenure. But we should be looking for a shift to a new generation that is technology driven. I mean, we look at Australia. Australia has about 36 year, if I'm not mistaken, about 36-year-old lady who is now the Prime Minister of Australia. We have a 31-year-old young man, that should be for Austria. We have another one about 30 or so of
Emmanuel Macron in France.
So look at even Canada, Trudeau was, or Trudeau, whatever. Yeah. And these are all young brains who are actually making progress. So we can't, I mean, if we operate in a computer nation, how can ours be different? How can we still be allowing genotocracy to also detect what we do here in Nigeria? This is what he's saying. But whatever he said now, if you look at it, they are very, very important and very germane. You may not like the messenger, as we said. It may not be a very popular apostle bearing that message. For me, I mean, it was like, I mean, when you liken his case to a footballer who, in a penalty shootout, let in about 8 goals, then he can't you can't advise a goalkeeper to tell him how to stop penalties. That's exactly what's happening, because he was there for 8 years. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, about a 36-year-old lady who is now the Prime Minister of Australia. We have a 31-year-old young man, that should be for Austria. We have another one about 30 or so of
Emmanuel Macron in France.
So look at even Canada, Trudeau was, or Trudeau, whatever. Yeah. And these are all young brains who are actually making progress. So we can't, I mean, if we operate in a competent nation, how can ours be different? How can we still be allowing genotocracy to also detect what we do here in Nigeria? This is what he's saying. But whatever he said now, if you look at it, they are very, very important and very germane. You may not like the messenger, as we said. It may not be a very popular apostle bearing that message. For me, I mean, it was like, I mean, when you liken his case to a footballer who in a penalty shootout let in about 8 goals, then he can't advise a goalkeeper to tell him how to stop penalties. That's exactly what's happening, because he was here for 8 years. I mean, Babangida, he let in 8 goals, so to speak. Babangida was also here for 8 years. He also let in 8 goals. So these two goalkeepers, so to speak, can't tell the present goalkeeper how to stop penalties. But that's on the one hand. But on the other hand, what they're saying is very, very important, because when you take a look at all they have said, there are issues that you are aware of.
Yeah, issues of devolution of power.
Devolution of power is talking about even was the president not doing. I mean, the president, the government not doing enough to stop this bloodletting. I mean, how can an elder sit every time needlessly people are killed and nobody is brought to book, and you ask him to sit down to not to talk? So declaring Afegba wanted, as I said earlier, I think is very laughable.
Well, even before going into the issue of him being declared wanted, what is really at the core of this controversy, so to say? A statement was issued, and certainly it carries all the messages that everybody knows and all of that. But what's at the core of this controversy?
Well, the thing is, if you want to look at it, and as I said on radio recently, I said, if you look at the president we have now, if anything about his assistance is supposed to be relied upon, this president would rather want to go back to Daura. But the people around him who are feasting from what we have now, they won't allow that, because if he goes out to go back on retirement in Daura, that means you have cut them off from whatever they are enjoying now. So politically, those people, they want to become relevant as long as they can. So they are the ones who are egging him on. But if you look at it, even all this issue of...
Why do we continue to believe that? I mean, I've heard this said about almost every president in this country, from...
No, I'm talking about this president.
From even OBJ...
No, OBJ wanted to perpetuate himself.
That the men around them are the bad people, but the men themselves, who I mean, before whom the buck really should stop, they don't seem to take
We heard that of Goodluck Jonathan.
Of Goodluck Jonathan. That Goodluck Jonathan is a fine gentleman, he's a good man, but the men around him, they are the problem.
Well, it's very real.
Really?
This is real.
Okay.
I mean, there are people who want to continue to have it, because you being the principal. I mean, it's just like Aaron. The oil will get to the head, trickle down the garment, and then go straight to the skirt. You know, there are people who are around the skirt area who are getting from this. So when the oil stops from the head, this thing will get to the skirt. So those people who are the skirt area, who are the garment area, they want to continue to feed from the system. And they are the people who are telling Rakadedesa, don't mind them.
Yeah, but isn't the head the most important factor in all of this, really?
Now, back to the issue of declaring Afegboa wanted. The point there is, Afegboa was an official in the Edo State government. That he lives, he's a journalist and well known. Now, from earlier statements said that he was not served any letter inviting him by the police. So how can somebody be declared wanted if...
Having not been invited?
Exactly, having not been invited. How proper? And in fact, at the level of the highest level of the police, certainly know what to do when it comes to that.
Does
it seem to be like politics somewhere?
No, this is just sheer overzealousness of, I mean, on the side of the police, I mean, on the side of the agents. I think I understand, it's a lawyer, I mean, someone who has been in the system for a long time. You ought to know the procedure, you ought to know the processes to follow. How can you just go on public radio, newspapers, you say you are declaring somebody wanted, you have not even invited him. The process, that's why I say it's laughable. The IG must not be seen as somebody who wants to do the bidding of the president, because right now he's not enjoying popularity that he enjoyed 2 years ago. It must not be seen as being parochial. It must not be seen as being ethno-biased, if you want to look at it, because it's also from the north. This issue, this issue of north-south dichotomy is also standing across.
It's interesting you actually talk about that, this north-south dichotomy.
Yes.
Has IBB's letter, or will IBB's letter actually change this, the dynamic of all of this?
Because he also from the north.
He's from the north.
No,
so it's not going to be
it has a wider reach than the current president. Okay, so I see IBB as more of a Nigerian, so to speak. What I'm saying is that he has friends all over.
And he speaks Yoruba
very well. He speaks Yoruba very well, and so on. So if you look at it that way, whether it's going to change, may not change, because he only has his own personal friend. The question that how much influence does CC wield in the core north? Right now, I'm not, he's still very much respected around the Middle Belt area. He's also not Fulani too, so that's also coming in as if he were Fulani, he's against his brother. I mean, he is Nupe, if I'm right. So there's also that animosity. People will say, okay, because it's a Nupe versus against the Fulani interest. So all these things will find a way to also play out in the days to come.
Now, the presidency has not made any statement regarding this so far.
Yeah,
remember,
they're still studying.
They're still studying the letter. But certainly, it didn't take so much of studying of OBJ's letter before there was a reaction from the president immediately.
Well, OBJ is known to be very legendary in letter writing. The IBB, you can't place him side by side with OBJ when it comes to letter writing. OBJ has written letter to almost all the head of state in this country. So he wrote to Abacha, wrote to even the man he also brought Yaradua. He wrote to Jonathan. He wrote to virtually all of them. So I think this is just about time. But this one, so it's not a letter. It's just it's a public statement.
An open letter, if you put it that way.
That could have been made by anybody.
But you see, let's also not gloss over the fact that IBB, being a Nigerian, born a Nigerian, he has the right to also air his view. He has his right to complain about bad governance. He has a right to advise any government in place, because he was there. He's just as somebody who is playing, IU or draft. If you are the sideline or football, you see moves better than
okay, so part of that letter says we can no longer continue to play the ostrich when it comes to the issue of restructuring and
that's right, exactly, because because
example,
this centralized
that there's no better time
than now
for Nigeria to begin to
than now.
Talk about it seriously.
Yeah, because when you take a look at the central command system, the unitary system we have, it's not helping us. Everybody will go back to what economy call the bottle economy. You go cap in hand. And talk about the issue of a VAT. There are some states that hate the product, but they share from the proceeds.
Exactly.
So how do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile that?
All right. Now, with a statement from former President Olusegun Obasanjo that people can't wish away, another statement from former President IBB that people can't wish away, is there some subtle body language for Nigerians to know that the former generals have disowned their own somehow?
Yeah, but there ought to be esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps in the military.
Has it been demystified?
Well, esprit de corps, is it helping them in their businesses?
In the first instance.
In the first instance,
well,
no.
But it's possible. It's possible. What? Even if it's not political, economic, it could help them.
But again, let me also tell you this. Politically, let's get outside the box of esprit de corps. Let's come to the political plane. You see, these two gentlemen, Babangida and Obasanjo, they have a way of studying situation and wanting to remain relevant. Once their images are dwindling, they look for where to sink in their hook. Right now,
is that what this is all about?
It's part of it. It's part of it. As far as you see, this letter now, the letter written by Obasanjo has shot up. All of a sudden, he has shot up his own image. It's becoming relevant again. IBB also, not many people want to have any recourse to him. He wrote a statement, everybody's looking towards him. Don't be surprised that people who wants to gain political relevance will also be going to Mina for pilgrimages.
They've always
done that.
But they find a way to do it. Right now they are becoming relevant. Everybody's talking about that. They are harvesting They're harvesting copiously from the system. They're
okay, so
final
one. IBB 76, OBJ about 80 or thereabouts, Buhari about 75, though he says he's not too sure about it. You know,
2 years different. 2 years different. 2 years different.
Do these men really have anything to lose when it comes to whatever direction that Nigeria takes?
Yes. They have a name to lose. Okay. Because they were there. If you were there and the country was brought down to its knees, you have a name to lose. It's going to remain there on the Hall of Shame, not Hall of Fame.
I'm thinking that's a question that young people should be asking themselves.
Well,
the young people today are they also ready for
to take
up because for the past 20 years, I don't think new leaders
have to leave it there.
Have been trained.
Well, we have to leave it here now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Even though a statement is coming out saying that former General President Muhammadu Buhari might be the last of the old stock to run Nigeria.
I don't think
whether
so.
he stays 8 years or stays 4 years.
We're not done with old men yet.
Really?
Okay.
No, mark my word, we're not done with old men yet.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
We hope to see how things will play out in 2019. Okay. Charles Ideho, thank you so much for coming on the program. Right. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the spread of Lassa fever in Nigeria. 15 states so far.
And 31 deaths already.